The tavern reeked of oil, sweat, and something Vulpine that smelled like scorched cinnamon. A good place to get drunk, not a good place to start trouble. Naturally, I was doing both. Humans, one of the fox-faced locals muttered as I lifted my glass. Always tinkering, always talking. No bite. I wasn't planning to bite. I was planning to drink until the floor felt friendly. But then she walked in, the alpha. Ears high, tail sweeping like a banner, armor glinting with smugness. She didn't even look at me. She didn't have to. The whole room bent around her like she was gravity with fur. I muttered too loud. Bet she polishes that tail more than her blade. The chuckle that followed was mine alone. The silence after it belonged to everyone else. Her golden eyes pinned me like a wrench to a magnet. You, she said, voice smooth as claws across metal. Say it again. I should have shut up. I should have ducked. Instead, I lifted my wrench. Not a sword, not a blaster. A wrench. Steel, grease-stained, my pride. I said. I slurred. You strut too much. Let's see how you fight. The bar erupted in gasps, tails fluffing, ears twitching. Someone dropped a mug, another whispered. He just proposed. My gut tightened. Proposed? No, I challenged her. The bartender shook his head, eyes wide. Human, same thing here. Fight an alpha, you fight for her hand. And her tail. Her smirk widened. Bold. She stepped closer, boots echoing. You want my hand, little human? My tail? I opened my mouth, ready to deny it, but the words that came out were, I've handled bigger tools. The crowd howled. Not with laughter, agreement. Vulpines nodded, murmuring, he boasts of stamina. He's serious. No. I raised my hands, wrench still clutched tight. I just mean. You mean to claim me? She purred, circling like I was prey. You've swung your tool in front of everyone. Now you can't take it back. More laughter, and I realized every single phrase I said was turning filthier by the second. My mechanic's mouth, my grease-born metaphors, they were translating into foreplay. I only wanted a quick bout. I tried. Whistles. Quick bout? He wants her fast. I wasn't trying to get inside. The room erupted. Someone nearly choked on their drink. Another shouted. Inside her guard, inside her den, same thing. She closed the distance, tail brushing my thigh. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. You struck first. You started it. Now finish it. She leaned in, whispering so close her whiskers tickled my ear. Proposal accepted. The wrench slipped in my sweaty hand. Wait, what? The tavern cheered like we'd announced the birth of a litter. Tankards clashed, tails thumped, bets exchanged. Someone shouted, About time an alpha found a mate. I stumbled back, hitting a chair, still clutching my damn wrench like it could fix this mess. Hold up, I didn't mean. You didn't mean to challenge me? She asked, tilting her head, ears flicking. I meant challenge, not marriage. The words bounced uselessly. The crowd only heard what they wanted, a bashful groom trying to hide his eagerness. Listen, a Vulpine female sighed. He's shy. Humans are modest in love. Modest? I barked. I'm the least modest man here. That got more cheers. Someone yelled. He'll take her right here on the table. I nearly swallowed my tongue. That's not what I meant. Her paw hand shot out, grabbing my wrist, wrench and all. Her grip was iron, claws pricking just enough to remind me she could shred me in a heartbeat. But her smile was softer now, almost playful. Then prove it, she said. Prove what? That your bite matches your bark. You fought me before witnesses. You asked me to be yours. Don't shame yourself by denying. I looked around. Every pair of amber, silver, and emerald eyes glowed with expectation. No one doubted her version. No one believed mine. In one drunken swing, I'd gone from mechanic to fiancé. I muttered, This is the stupidest misunderstanding in history. She squeezed my wrist tighter. Not misunderstanding. Tradition. You challenged. You dared. No one dares. You're mine now. A nervous laugh slipped out. You move fast. She leaned in, sharp teeth flashing. You started fast. You finish fast? The tavern roared. Someone banged the table. He can't finish fast. He's human. I groaned. Every word was a trap, every protest proof of guilt. My wrench, once just a tool, had become a symbol of something a lot more personal. And the alpha, towering, gleaming, tail swishing, clearly liked it that way. She tugged me toward the door. The crowd parted, whistling, chanting, drunk on drama. I dug my heels in, voice cracking. I didn't propose! But my feet moved anyway, dragged in her wake. You did, she said, calm and certain. You fought me. You pinned me with your eyes. You lifted your tool. You showed the pack your strength. You proposed. I was drunk, I argued. All the better, she purred, dragging me outside under the twin moons. Honest words come from drunken mouths. The moons bathed her fur in silver fire, her eyes molten gold. My stomach sank. My pride bristled. My wrench felt heavier than ever. And my night had just been upgraded from bad bar decision to accidental engagement. They marched me through the colony square like I was some prize stag caught in the hunt. Her hand never left my wrist, claws just kissing the skin, a reminder that escape wasn't an option. Every tail in sight swished, every muzzle grinned, and every whisper carried the same word. Fiancé. I hissed under my breath. This is a mistake. I didn't propose, I just swung a wrench. You swung first, she answered smoothly. In my people's law, that means intent. Intention is binding. You cannot swing and then pretend it was meaningless. It was meaningless! She tilted her head, ears flicking like she'd heard a joke. Meaningless? You put your body on the line before witnesses. You bared your strength. That is never meaningless. The crowd murmured agreement. Someone shouted, A human finally dares! Another added, Bold mate, bold future! I tried again. Look, in human culture, fighting isn't romance. A duel is a duel. A proposal is... I faltered, realizing what came next. Flowers, rings, dinners. Not weapons. Her smirk was lethal. So you court with fragile things? Rings? Dinner? We court with flesh and blood. We fight because love is a battle. You fought, therefore you love. Groans of approval rose all around. A fox male leaned to his friend. Humans must be strange in bed. So careful. My face burned. I'm not careful. That got laughter, whistles, applause. Someone shouted. Then show her. Prove you're not. I buried my face in my palm. Every denial was ammunition. She pulled me onto a raised platform, where a carved stone marked the center of the square. The ceremonial circle, I realized with horror. I'd wandered straight into the heart of tradition. Here, she announced, voice carrying like thunder. Before the pack, I accept his challenge. I accept his proposal. The crowd erupted in howls and tail thumps. She raised my hand high like I'd already won a battle I hadn't agreed to fight. Wait, wait! I yanked my hand down. No! I didn't propose. I just... You keep saying no, she interrupted, lips curling. Yet your body follows me. Your hand stays in mine. Your eyes lock on me. My body follows because you're dragging me. And my eyes, of course they're locked. You're terrifying. The pack chuckled. Someone muttered. He adores her already. Look at the way he stares. Stare? I sputtered. I'm glaring, not staring. Glaring is staring with fire. She countered. It means passion. You glare, therefore you burn. Cheers, whistles, agreement. My shoulders slumped. Logic had no chance here. She circled me, tail brushing my back, her voice low enough for me but loud enough for the crowd to hear. You even touched my tail. I blanched. It was an accident. The square gasped as if I'd declared blasphemy. She leaned close, whispering, "You don't touch a tail by accident. Tail touching is claiming. You brushed it, you branded me." My brain shorted. "I didn't brand you, I bumped you." The crowd cheered louder. "He brands her with his love. What a poet!" I wanted to scream. Instead, I stammered, "Humans don't, we don't brand people." "Then you are different," she said, eyes gleaming. "But I like it. A man who fights with tools, who brands with touch, who denies with fire, he is worthy." Another round of howls. I wanted the ground to swallow me. She pulled me close, practically chest to chest, voice silken and sharp. "Now we seal the bond." My blood froze. "Seal? You mean, oh no. Not here. Not now." The crowd erupted into laughter, catching my panic instantly. "He's shy. Look how red he is." I tried to explain, words tumbling out like a death sentence. "In my world, sealing the bond means, physical intimacy. Private." The gasps were deafening. Someone in the crowd shouted, "For humans, the vow is consummation itself." The alpha's smirk widened. "So, humans seal with flesh, not with oaths." I groaned. "That's not what I—" "Then I am honored." She cut me off. "You mean to give yourself fully tonight?" The square howled, stamping paws, tails beating like drums. My lungs gave up on air. Every attempt to correct just dug me deeper. "No, no, we don't just—" "You do," she insisted, pinning me with her gaze. "Your words are clear. Your blush is proof. You want to seal it with me, not tomorrow, not later. Tonight." I was sweating bullets, wrench still clutched uselessly in my fist. I tried to hide it behind my back. Too late. Her eyes flicked down. "Still gripping your tool? You never let go, do you?" The pack lost control. Laughter spilled everywhere. Someone shouted, "Look at him! Ready for the honeymoon already!" I buried my face again. "Why does everything I say sound filthy to you people?" "Because truth sounds filthy," she whispered, lips brushing my ear. "And truth is beautiful." The platform quaked with stamping. She raised her arm again. "Witness, he is mine. By fight, by fire, by tool, by tail. I claim him." The roar shook my bones. My chest hammered with dread. I tried one last desperate swing at sanity. "I didn't propose." She grinned, teeth sharp in the moonlight. "And yet here we are." The crowd chanted my name, twisting it into a lover's song. My wrench felt like a wedding ring I couldn't remove. And the alpha, smug, radiant, relentless, looked every bit the bride who'd just won her groom. And all I'd done was swing a wrench. The night didn't end in the square. Of course not. That would have been merciful. Instead, the alpha dragged me out beyond the colony lights, under the twin moons, into the wild. "This is the honeymoon hunt," she said, tail swaying like a banner of doom. "Honeymoon what?" Her grin flashed. "Tradition. The new mate chases the alpha through the dark. If he catches her, he proves his worth. If not, he doesn't deserve her." I blinked, clutching my wrench like a lifeline. "So, instead of dinner and wine, you want me to play tag in the woods?" Her ears twitched. "Not tag. Hunt. You chase, you pin, you bite. Only then is the bond complete." The words hit me like a hammer. "You want me to bite you?" Her smirk deepened. "You already nipped my pride. Now I want more." I groaned. "I'm a mechanic, not a wolf. I fix engines, I don't chase women through forests." "You fix engines?" she asked, intrigued. "Then fixing me will be easy." I almost choked. "That's not how, never mind." She darted into the trees before I could protest further, leaving only a flash of fur and the sound of laughter. The pack, gathered on the edges, shouted encouragement. "Run, human! Show her your stamina! He'll never last 3 rounds. 3 rounds? He looks like he could go 5. My face burned as I staggered into the underbrush. Stamina. Rounds. It was like my life had turned into a bad innuendo reel. I tried to follow her trail, but I wasn't built for this. Branches whipped my face, roots snagged my boots, and I cursed every step. Then I noticed something, scratches on bark, almost deliberate. She was leaving marks. She wanted me to follow. Well, if I can't chase you like a predator, I'll think you like a human, I muttered. I started rigging snares with rope, propping branches, setting little mechanical tricks from my toolkit. My tools were small, portable, but enough to make a trap or two. Hours slipped by in a tangle of sweat and curses. Finally, she appeared again, gliding through moonlight, smug as ever. She stepped right into my rigged loop, and the snare yanked her upside down, tail flaring as she dangled from a branch. The pack howled in delight. He caught her! I leaned on my wrench, panting. See? Human brains beat fox legs any day. Her eyes glowed upside down, furious yet oddly impressed. You cheated. I shrugged. I improvised. Humans don't need claws when we've got creativity. The crowd shouted. He tied her up. That's a real honeymoon. My blood froze. No, that's not. But she was laughing now, a low, throaty sound that made my skin prickle. You bound me. You dared to trap me. You're bolder than I thought. I wasn't trying to. Her tail brushed against me even as she dangled, and my words dissolved into heat. She whispered, Now finish it. The pack chanted in unison. Finish it! Finish it! My stomach twisted. Finish what? Untie you? Let you down? Pin me, she purred. Seal the bond. I swallowed hard. You really won't quit until I say yes, huh? She smirked. You already said yes. With your fight. With your chase. With your traps. You've been saying yes since the tavern. I closed my eyes. She wasn't wrong. I hadn't agreed, but somehow every move, every word had lined up in her favor. And damn it, she was gorgeous. Strong. Smug. Impossible. But gorgeous. The pack surged forward, lifting us both onto shoulders, carrying us like victors. I barely had the strength to keep my wrench in hand, but I held it anyway. They paraded us through the forest until we reached a clearing lit by glowing fungi. Here, the alpha was lowered, freed, standing tall again. She looked at me, eyes soft for the first time. You surprised me, human! No one ever surprises me. I rubbed my neck, embarrassed. I surprise people by accident. Mostly by breaking things. You broke my pride, she admitted. And I like it. The crowd sighed as if it was the most romantic confession ever uttered. I coughed. So, what now? She leaned close, breath hot. Now we're mated. You fought. You caught. You claimed. And whether you like it or not, I like you. Something inside me cracked. Maybe it was exhaustion, maybe something else, but I laughed. A wild, hopeless laugh. Fine. But if this is a marriage, I get to fix your engines. You clearly don't know how to tune a core. She blinked. Engines? Yeah, I said, holding up the wrench. Engines. Ships. Machines. If I'm going to be stuck with you, you're at least getting regular maintenance. Her grin softened, teeth flashing. Then fix me, mechanic. Tune me. Make sparks fly. The crowd erupted, half of them falling over laughing, the other half cheering like I just pledged eternal love. My own words turned filthy in their ears, and I was too tired to argue anymore. I muttered, Guess love's just a contact sport out here. She wrapped her arm around my shoulders, tail brushing my back, voice a low rumble. With you, human, every sport ends the same way. I win. I sighed. We'll see about that. The night ended in firelight, laughter, and the certainty that my life was no longer mine. It belonged to her. To them. To the bond one never intended but couldn't escape. And somehow, against every law of sense, I didn't hate it. The next morning should have been quiet. Should have been me sneaking out with my wrench, pretending last night was a bad dream. Instead, I woke up to the sound of drums, howls, and the Alpha shaking me awake with all the subtlety of a thunderstorm. "Get up, mate. Today's the binding feast," I groaned. "Binding? That word has way too many meanings in your culture." Her tail flicked. "All of them are correct." I sat up, rubbing my temples. "Listen, I'm still trying to process the fact that I accidentally proposed by hitting you with a wrench. Can we not add more misunderstandings?" She leaned close, smirk sharp. "You didn't just hit me. You challenged me, caught me, tied me, claimed me. By every Vulpine custom, you are mine now. Where I'm from," I muttered, "tying someone up in the woods doesn't count as marriage. At best it's foreplay." She blinked, then grinned like I just handed her treasure. "Then you admit you were courting me?" The pack outside howled in agreement. "The human admits it. He wants her tied to him forever. He fixed her engines last night." My face burned. "I didn't fix anything." The Alpha tilted her head. "Not yet. But you will." Before I could argue, she dragged me out into the clearing where half the colony, foxes, humans, and everything in between, had gathered. Long tables groaned with food, and banners hung from the trees. It looked less like a wedding and more like a festival thrown by maniacs. The chieftain banged his staff. "By our traditions, the duel, the chase, and the capture are complete. The Alpha has chosen her mate. The human accepted by action if not by word. Today they bind." The cheering nearly deafened me. Someone shoved a goblet into my hands. I sniffed it, fermented fruit, sweet and sharp. The Alpha raised hers, clinked mine, and drank deep. I sipped cautiously. Big mistake. The stuff hit like liquid fire, running down my throat, and I sputtered while she laughed. "Human stomach too weak?" she teased. I wiped my mouth. "No, I just prefer my drinks not to strip paint." The pack roared with laughter, pounding the tables. She leaned closer, voice low enough for me alone. "If you can't handle the drink, how will you handle me?" My brain short-circuited. "I'll use both hands?" The table went silent, then erupted. Cups spilled, tails lashed, and I buried my face in my hands. Double meanings followed me like a curse. The feast dragged on, dish after dish shoved at me. I was force-fed roasted meat, glowing berries, something that might have still been moving. The Alpha ate like a queen, dainty in nothing, and kept nudging food onto my plate. "Eat. You'll need strength tonight." I choked on a bone. "Strength for what?" She bared her teeth in a smile that was not comforting. "The trial of endurance." The chieftain rose again. "Tradition demands the human prove stamina. Can he last until dawn?" The pack chanted. "Last. Last. Last." My ears rang. "Last doing what exactly?" No one clarified. That was worse than any answer. They dragged me into the training ring, torches blazing. Obstacles lined the ground, heavy logs, sparring pits, walls to climb. It was a gauntlet, designed to grind me down. And of course, the Alpha stood at the end, arms folded, tail swaying, daring me forward. "Catch me again," she called. "Then I'll know it wasn't luck last night." I stared at the course, then at her. "You want me to run through all that, after a feast, while drunk?" She grinned. "Yes. That's marriage." The crowd howled. I swore under my breath, tightened my grip on my wrench, and ran. The gauntlet was hell. Logs rolled, pits nearly swallowed me, warriors jumped out to test my reflexes. Every stumble earned cheers or jeers. By the time I hauled myself over the final wall, I was bleeding, sweaty, and cursing gravity. The Alpha waited, smug as ever. I collapsed at her feet, gasping. "Happy now?" She crouched, tilting my chin up. "Not yet. You didn't pin me." I groaned. "I don't have the strength to pin a squirrel, let alone you." "Then say it," she whispered. "Admit you're mine." The pack fell silent, waiting. My heart hammered, pride screaming at me to resist. But she'd outlasted me, outmaneuvered me, and maybe she'd earned it. I rasped. Fine. I'm yours. The silence broke like a dam. The cheering shook the forest. The alpha kissed me, rough, wild, nothing like human softness, and for a terrifying moment, I kissed her back. When she pulled away, her grin was softer than I'd ever seen. Finally, you say the right words, I muttered. Careful. I might start to mean them. Her tail curled around my waist, pulling me closer. Good. Because I already do. The night ended with the pack celebrating like lunatics, and me realizing something terrifying. I wasn't just trapped by tradition anymore. I wanted to stay. Against all logic, against every protest, I'd fallen for her. And if that meant more misunderstandings, more accidental innuendo, more insane trials, so be it. I was human. I'd adapt. I'd improvise. And apparently I'd propose by accident again and again. Because sparks weren't just flying anymore. They'd set the whole damn forest on fire.